come to you this afternoon from the beautiful city of Atlanta, Georgia. And on the edge of the downtown area, the Georgia Dome, where hours ago, the Auburn fans gathered to await the arrival of their undefeated team and their star quarterback, Cam Newton. Shortly after that, the head ball coach, who has the South Carolina Gamecocks in the SEC championship game, it's Steve Spurrier and South Carolina before a crowd of 72,000 here in the Georgia Dome. This is the SEC championship presented by Dr. Pepper. It's the Auburn Tigers undefeated against the South Carolina Gamecocks. Good afternoon, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Gary Danielson and Tracy Wolfson. For the last month, Auburn games have been overshadowed by allegations that Cam Newton's father and an agent had shopped the player, that they were demanding or had demanded cash for a commitment to play. On Wednesday, the NCAA found that Cecil Newton and Kenny Rogers were indeed complicit in the demand for cash. They also, however, said that at this time there was insufficient evidence to connect Cam Newton to the scheme. They also found Auburn officials unaware of the plan. Thus, Cam Newton, though the investigation is ongoing, is eligible in this game, which means for at least 3.5 hours, he and we can all concentrate on what's going to happen behind us. It's been a long way to get here, Gary.
It sure has. And Vern, every interview I have done leading up to this game, people have asked, will it have an effect on Auburn and their run for the national championship? And I can emphatically say no. In fact, I think it's helped them. There's really no excuse here. Their quarterback has been able to handle it, and all the pressure being number one and number two, you just got to look at that guy and saying, if he's doing it, we can do it.
We have seen him live 4 times so far this year, and we have seen the whole range of skills that Cam Newton has.
Yeah, we sure have. You know, I think everyone knew that Cam was going to be able to run the ball in this spread offense, and his signature play of the year was this touchdown run against LSU. That's really when everybody knew he was special. But in the last 4 games, as these SEC defense have tried to stop the run game, he's come through with his passing game. He is now a threat, both running and passing. He's 6'5", 250. He's alone. And that means that South Carolina will have to score points. The low point for Stephen Garcia, their quarterback, was the Auburn game. And everybody that says that maybe Steve Spurrier was too tough on this guy, we're wrong. After that game, Stephen has played his best football of his life, basically. He will have to produce points in this football game. I think he will. The question is, will it be enough?
Well, and he's got some help in order to achieve that goal in the running back and the wide receiver.
They may be young, Vern, but I think this is the best 1-2 combination in college football. Alshon Jeffrey, Marcus Lattimore. It's the first time in South Carolina history they've had a receiver and a running back both get more than 1,000 yards in the same season. You must have balance. Steve Spurrier loves that balance. But to do it and be balanced, they got to block number 90, Nick Fairley. He only had 4 tackles against Alabama, but 3 huge plays, game-changing plays, 5 quarterback hurries. If they can't block him, they're not going to win the game.
Well, we're about to find out what will take place back in the Georgia Dome right after these messages. Back in the Georgia Dome, Auburn undefeated, South Carolina with a 9-3 mark and first on the field. The Tigers of Auburn, first time here since 2004. Head coach in his second season, Gene Chizik, right behind them. The Gamecocks of South Carolina. You know by now who their head coach is, don't you? Gamecocks. Steve Spurrier standing by, but we're going to go down to Gene Chizik and Tracy.
Thanks, Vern. Coach, with the NCAA decision of making Cam Newton eligible this week, did it give you a sense of closure for Cam and this team so they can focus on the task at hand?
It really does, and our whole team's been focused for the whole last 3 or 4 weeks. But this really puts it to an end, and we're ready to go play football.
Your team, though, has been playing with fire lately. They've been falling behind and having to play catch-up. Did you address that and the need for a fast start today?
Oh, there's no question about it. That's our #1 goal. We got to start fast today, and our team's ready to do that.
Good luck. Thanks a lot. Vern?
All right, Tracy, thank you. Second time this season these two have met. First time was kind of a coming out party for Cam Newton. The SEC Championship game on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper, is sponsored by Geico, K Jewelers, Yogi Bear, and by Dr. Pepper Cherry.
The ring, a symbol of what once was and what can always be. A link that bonds a championship team, football champions of the SEC, together forever. These championship game rings are a reminder of the dynasty that once was at Florida under Steve Spurrier, and represent the promise of what could be when he was hired as the head ball coach at South Carolina. Spurrier has brought the Gamecocks to the precipice for the first time. But do they have the mettle to be fitted for the ring? This is Auburn's championship ring, won in 2004, with the help of defensive coordinator Gene Chizik. He has returned to the Plains to resurrect a program that once was among the best in the land. And now the Tigers are wishing upon a shooting star to deliver what could be another perfect season. The history of what once was in the SEC championship game has been written, but for Auburn and South Carolina, what will be is about to unfold.
The days we didn't want to practice, we still practiced and gave it 100%. And now it's just like, hey, it's going to pay off.
It means so much to me just to win it and bring it back to this state.
With the right amount of effort and strength and the courage, we'll get it done.
Only then will we know whose hand will fit the ring.
It would just be sweeter than ever.
So I've been waiting for this game my whole life. For the fans, it'd be real nice. They've been waiting for years and years now for the football team to do something big around here, and then it'd be nice to finish it off.
It's the ring that represents the football champions of the SEC.
And a quick thanks to Billy Bob Thornton for the narration. This is only the 10th time these two teams have met. South Carolina's lone win came back in 1933 in Birmingham. Today's game brought to you in crystal clear high definition by LG. Auburn won the toss. They've elected to receive.
And that's a changeup, like he said to Tracy. He's going to try something different against Alabama. He won the toss and deferred. He wants the ball. It was not a great start against Alabama.
Here's the kick. And it will be Ontario McCaleb, who has a 99-yard return in the books this year. And a footnote, he did not score on that return. Cam Newton has faced the Gamecocks once before.
Yes, it was early in his career, and there were some early turnovers by Auburn in this football game, but it's a whole different Cam Newton that they're going to face here today. This coaching staff at Auburn believes in him and knows he can win the game with his legs or his arm.
Michael Dyer gets a couple. And let's introduce you to the Auburn offense, presented by Dr. Pepper. Lee Zimba, 51st start today. Mike Berry, Ryan Pugh, Baron Isom, and Mosley. Cody Burns, Zachary, Dyer in the backfield, Eric Smith gets the start in place of Lutzenkirchen at the H-back position. 2nd down and 8. Hand off. Oh no, fake. And he's got Darvin Adams deep. He's got him at the 20. Tackle made at the 14.
I told you, it's a different Cam Newton, and Auburn does not want to get off on a slow start. 1 fake, 2 fakes, and finally the deep ball. And I tell you, South Carolina was thinking run all the way. He beat Stephen Gilmore, their best cover guy, and the receiver, Darvin Adams, they call smooth, made a smooth play on the deep ball.
That's a 62-yard gain, longest. And here's the quick huddle.
He snuffed it out. It was going to be a gimmick play, like a fumble-rooski type play to McCaleb, and South Carolina had nothing to do with it. Watch McCaleb, he's hidden right there, okay? A lot of action, a lot of things going on. McCaleb gets it, didn't fool anybody.
Not at all. 2nd and 8. Newton pumps once. Boy, he's got all day. And he's got a man open. It's McCaleb. Touchdown, Auburn. Well, that didn't take long.
No, and you could see, you fall behind 24-0. You want the ball.
How about this? Cam Newton is now 19 for 19 on opening drives.
A great note for only a 3-man rush on this, and that offensive line bought time until Cam Newton probably went to his 4th guy on the play, McCaleb. And when you say, I got a lot of time to throw, as Vern, you called it, you're eventually going to find somebody.
And here's a footnote. That's only McCaleb's 5th catch of the year. LG, as a proud NCAA corporate partner, presents great SEC rivalries.
It's all about tailgating, flag waving, drink shaking, face paint, hell raising, celebrating,
unblemished season, 12-0.
All day Dixie Way, Saturday in the South.
Well, these two teams played 4 times in a row in the 30s, and then they said, let's take a break. So they did, until 1996. And it's only the 6th since South Carolina joined the SEC. Auburn's won every one. Well, how about that start?
Yeah, but if I'm South Carolina, now remember, Florida ran the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. South Carolina won 36-14, and Clemson scored in the first 150 of the game to take a 7-0 lead, and South Carolina came back in that game too.
Wes Byram will kick off. Bryce Sherman at 5'4", one of the smaller players in the SEC, is back to return it. And Byram kicks it 1 yard into the end zone. Here's Sherman. Nice elusive run.
Yeah.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown toss to McCaleb.
Look what a scrambling quarterback does. South Carolina, who leads the SEC in sacks, only rushes 3 players. You want to know why? They've got a spy going right there in the middle of the field in case Cam runs. They basically wasted a player. It was 3-man rush, only 7 deep, 1 guy standing there doing nothing.
Newton with 25 passing touchdowns, 18 on the ground. And just for good measure, he's also caught 1 for a TD. Now Stephen Garcia. Backs in the eye. Patrick DeMarco, the fullback, play fake. Garcia deep across the middle. Alshon Jeffrey belted by Zach Etheridge. Steven Garcia had a tough go against Auburn first time out.
Well, yeah, he was good throwing the ball in this game. He had 3 touchdown passes early, but late in the game, he had a couple of turnovers trying to make too much happen. He got benched in that football game, and that tough love, I'll tell you, we saw him play at the end of the year. He was spectacular.
First down 10 on the toss of 13 yards to Alshon Jeffrey. Here's a toss, right side, the freshman running back, Marcus Lattimore. And let's introduce you now to the South Carolina offense presented by Dr. Pepper. Nunn, Chisholm, T.J. Johnson, Watkins, and Eckerson up front. Alshon Jeffrey, DeMarco, Marcus Lattimore. DeMarco really can play tight end or in the backfield. Here's the toss, left side. Nice play. That's 2 in a row now for Zach Etheridge, number 4. He's one of the leaders in the Auburn defense. Very good against the run. Not so good against the pass. Carter with the big play, causing the fumble last week against Alabama. The linebackers, Stevens, Vines, El Toro, Freeman. And in the secondary, you've already met Zach Etheridge. Desharvin Bell is starting at cornerback.
And Mike Blanc, number 93, is in the game as a rushing defensive lineman for Auburn. Remember, he was not in the game against Alabama because of the fights the previous week.
6 DBs on the field now for Auburn. Garcia's got his man open. That's complete at the 39-yard line. Catch by D.L. Moore. He is the least often used wide receiver. That's only 13 catches for him this year.
Well, I'll tell you, if you can't throw the fade route, you can't play quarterback for Steve Spurrier. He challenges his quarterbacks. I've been out to practices for 15 years. They run that route and run that route and run that route, and you just have to do it or you don't play.
18 yards on that one. First down 10. Garcia will keep it. Flag is down.
Yeah, that was run all the way.
Matt Moore is our referee, who's earned the right to officiate this SEC championship game. Offside. Auburn.
Yeah, I think it was 45 Carter that time. Boy, he must have lined up offside on the play. That's the only thing I can think of. And Vern, I got to say something about this atmosphere. I don't know if it's jumping across on TV. I mean, this is my favorite game to do.
Yep.
I mean, I've done national championships, but the intensity in this football game, this game means so much to these players in this game and the fans.
And the coaches.
That's true. DeMarco is a key player for this offense for South Carolina. He shifts all over the field, and he's a great blocker and receiver, number 47.
That penalty was offsides on Nick Fairley. It was declined at 2nd down and 3. Out of the gun. Garcia comes near side. Alshon Jeffrey. That's 77 catches for Jeffrey now on the year.
You know what I love about the Spurrier offense is the simplicity of it. Go down and burn you like this. Button hook. Remember
Yeah,
button
that's
hook?
right.
You don't need all that fancy stuff. Go down there and button hook, okay? If you run it right, it can't be stopped.
I don't know why the mind wanders. I think of Fred Biletnikoff.
Oh,
I think of the
wasn't
button
that
hook.
great coming back and
Yes, exactly.
plucking it out of the air?
First down and 10. That was a gain.
Oh, 5-yard penalty there. I think it was Eckerson that time.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 66 of the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
That is Eckerson. Here's the Gamecock season review. Big win. First time ever they've knocked off a #1 opponent. Then they turn around and lose to Kentucky.
Well, that injury to Marcus Lattimore really hurt him in that football game.
Defeated Florida on the road, defeated Clemson, and sandwiched in between was a knockoff of Troy, and it put Steve Spurrier back in the SEC championship game, and the Gamecocks here for the first time. First down 15, Garcia play fake, deep down the middle. Watch it, touchdown. Who'd you say could be important today?
DeMarco.
Patrick DeMarco. Wow.
I'll tell you, this is a schemed play. How often do you see the fullback go down the middle of a two-deep zone? You see tight ends do it, but you don't see fullbacks do it. Brilliant call by the staff from South Carolina.
Spencer Lanning on to try and equal things. Cuts it inside the right upright. Lanning has missed 3 this year.
I tell you what they knew, Vern. Josh Bynes is very aggressive on the ISO play. 2 deep safeties. They run the ISO. Bynes takes 1 step in, it's over.
There is a flag down. Here's Matt Moore again.
I'll tell you what, I'll give Gus Malzahn all the credit in the world, but you're not going to out-scheme Steve
Personal
Spurrier.
foul, number 60, South Carolina. Dead ball, personal foul, number 90 of Auburn. Those penalties will offset kickoff.
Patrick DeMarco. He has an uncle named Chris who plays on the PGA Tour and has been known to pick up a chick or 2. Regional action tomorrow, the NFL on CBS. Early, Jacksonville at Tennessee, 3 others. And late game out on the West Coast, Oakland at San Diego. I never thought of Dan Fouts as a bench warmer, but he's taken Phil Simms' place.
Heck of a backup, isn't he?
Yeah, no kidding. Hall of Famer. 2 of them. And JB's 1 too. And it all begins with the NFL today. Well, there was offsetting unsportsmanlike calls made as the extra point went through. Number 55 is Corey Lemonier. Number 60 is Terrence Campbell.
Well, I think it's a warning. I think it's a good job by the officials to keep the game under control early.
Already?
No harm, no foul on the penalties. 1 warning to each side.
I like it. The kick. Damon Washington, he's got a 95-yard kickoff return.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Not this time. Antonio Allen, number 26.
One thing you notice about a game when you do one in the Georgia Dome is how much faster it is than a game on grass. This is a speed track out here. And you better bring your fast game because it's going to be real fast.
Allen had an interception last week in the win at Clemson to help secure the victory. Well, we've not had a ball on the ground yet. Somebody forgot to retrieve the tee, so a little bit of a delay. There we go.
Isn't there supposed to be like is there supposed to be a mascot or somebody that?
Yeah, usually,
yeah,
right?
A kid.
First down 10. Shoves it out. It's caught. Eric Smith, the H-back. Little creativity by Cam Newton.
Well, South Carolina leads the Southeastern Conference in sacks. And you can see the pressure he puts on Newton. Newton stays alive. Remember, he's as big as the defensive ends. And they didn't tackle him. Oh, look at this look. That's a new look right there.
Michael Dyer looks for a block from Mario Fenn and doesn't get much of one. Taylor, Robertson, Adjaboy, Cliff Matthews, I beg your pardon. Strutter, Dickerson, the middle linebacker, and in the secondary, Gilmore, Allen, Swearinger, Whitlock. They have been susceptible to giving up passing yardage.
And South Carolina, excuse me, is trying to do what Alabama did. They're trying to attack the middle of the offensive line for Auburn.
Newton, left side.
Yeah, this guy can throw, can he?
Darvin Adams.
Each quarterback has thrown 4 passes in the game. And they've completed 4 passes. Now, after Auburn makes a first down, they're hurry up. They're coming at you, too, I'll tell you that.
That looked a lot like a 4th down play we saw.
It did. A little different formation,
Yep.
but I tell you, indoors, if they don't move Cam Newton's feet, he's going to have a big game in the pocket.
1st and 10 after the 11-yard gain. Play fake. Oh, tipped. Intended for Adams, and that's the first incompletion in the game.
He never saw it. Because of the pass rush by South Carolina that time, Cam Newton had to throw that ball maybe a tenth of a second earlier than he thought on the play, and Darvin Adams never got his head on the play. Never got around and saw it.
Stephon Gilmore, high school quarterback, and he has been used on offense in his South Carolina career. And here's Cam Newton with a 15-yard average per completion. 2nd down. Flag is down. So is Newton. Tony Strutter, number 44, with the tackle for Auburn's Tigers, undefeated so far. Let's quickly take you through their season. 4 wins after trailing by 10. The play for pay controversy that we addressed earlier. And they won the Iron Bowl after trailing 24-0. Cam Newton has broken a single-season school record, both rushing and passing. And they are the champions of the SEC West.
Illegal formation on the offense. More than 4 men in the backfield. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
One thing Auburn does is take pride in lining up. They work on it very extensively every practice. 3rd down here now. Last time against South Carolina, Auburn made 7 of 12 3rd downs. Key part of this game.
Look over at the sideline, and the cards are flashed in. Some with numbers, some with colors. 3rd and 12. One-on-one. Here is what I think he does best.
What I'd say about a spy, what did I say before? If it's not Ray Lewis or a great athlete, you have no chance. There was a spy on this play, and he ran right by Josh Dickerson, the spy on the play.
Quick count. Dyer shoved backwards and has to grab a hold of the ball as they try to rip it out. And that was Cliff Matthews, number 83, and Antonio Allen, the first man there.
And understand the quick change here. This is what gives the defense trouble. And this is what the defensive coaches are arguing about is not fair. That a quick change by Auburn, and South Carolina is stuck with their group out there.
Newton in the corner, got him open. Blake just leads him a little too much.
So what do you do if you're Ellis Johnson? You want to stop this guy from scrambling because, like you said, he's the best you've seen at this. Number 41 is the spy on Cam Newton. Watch what he does spying on this one. He's there, boom. Oh my God, if it was flag football, he would not have been able to grab a flag.
No. 3rd down 10. Quindarius Carr, play fake to him. Pressure, they touch Newton again. Fires it, 1st down. Darvin Adams.
And I'll tell you that South Carolina defensive line is sucking for air right now. Darvin Adams starts on the left side. Cam buys the time. Should not be open, but when your quarterback makes that plays, he'll be open.
Dyer spins, dropped at the 5. Devin Taylor with the tackle, but a player is also down for South Carolina.
You go wide, and this time right up, and they gash him.
Looks like Melvin Ingram might be the injured player. He's down at the 12.
And Melvin Ingram is one of their leading sack players on this football team.
Now working on his left calf right now. So time has been called. We'll step aside. We come to you from the Georgia Dome. Got a sports fan on your gift list? CBSSports.com. Shop as officially licensed locker room gear for the SEC Championship. And get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com. Ingram up, unassisted in his walk over to the sideline. And it's first down goal, Auburn in a 7-7 game.
Vern, shouldn't they look for Lutzenkirchen on this one? Oops, right there.
No, there you are. He's blocking this time, and Newton is stiff. Yeah, wow. Philip Lutzenkirchen. 13 letters in the last name, 5 touchdown catches for the year.
Yeah, you think you got all these guys they're going to go to, and then they go to Lutzenkirchen. It's not fair, is it?
And he needs to get the dance down.
Yeah. You know, this is now the front four. The Alabama front four were a factor in the game. South Carolina's front four must become a factor.
Newton, that's his 19th rushing touchdown of the season. Cam Newton. Extra point up and good.
Misdirection power. It's what the spread gives you. Watch as a guard pulls, H-back goes, and the I-back go. 3 guys going to the left on the play. Cameron, can he follow it? Yes, but he also can cut back and then run right through a linebacker. Strouder on the play.
Devontae Holloman also tried to lend a hand, but nothing there. 14-7. 5:31 to go. First quarter, 14-7. As we mentioned, this game is a rematch of the scintillating game played in late September between these two. Let's take a look back at this great SEC moment presented by Sonic.
Newton keeps it, avoids 1 man at midfield, 45-40. There goes Cam, 15, 10, touchdown, Auburn! Well, Jeffrey caught, touchdown, Carolina. Hand off, and they'll throw to a wide open Lutzenkirchen in the end zone, touchdown, Auburn! Shaw floats it for the end zone, and intercepted in the end zone, and that's your ball game.
35-27 the final. Newton with 5 TDs in that game. And he has led Auburn on 2 scoring drives in this first quarter. The last one featuring running plays more than through the air. Byram. Bryce Sherman will return it. Emery Blake made the tackle. Let's go to Tim Brando for an update presented by Chick-fil-A.
All right, Vern. Well, that number 2 team is trying to hold serve. Oregon, after falling behind by 7, they've now scored 16 unanswered. LaMichael James, who will be invited to New York, along with Cameron Newton, takes it in. 16-7, Quack Attack. Back to you.
All right, Tim, thank you for one of those rare times we can look across the field and see them instead of throwing it back to New York.
Well, and hold serve is apropos in this game. South Carolina needs to hold serve. It's going to be one of those games.
Here's Garcia, perfect so far, 4 for 4. He can also run it, but not very far when you're tackled from behind by Zach Clayton, kind of an unheralded member of this Auburn defensive line.
Yeah, and if you talk to the coaches, they realize what a great football player he is. He's struggled with injuries throughout his career, but one of those nose tackles that Ted Roof has that stays at home and forces 2 guys to block him inside and lets Nick Fairley come in and attack from that outside tackle position.
Auburn's problem this year has not been stopping the run. It's the times when they go upstairs. There's Alshon Jeffrey again. What a target. What a player. That stop made by DeMond Washington.
Special football player. One of the great receivers in the country, and this league is loaded with them.
Alshon Jeffrey, first-team member of the American Football Coaches Association All-American team, just announced. First down 10 on that catch. Jeffrey's got 3 grabs in the game for 35 yards. Washington comes up to play him close. They try and slip the ball over left tackle and pick up a couple. Well, we have seen Auburn play, and I know you pointed out the big wide receivers.
And all of these guys, one of the oddities, if you look, there's Jeffrey in the first game at the beginning, and here he is at the end. Is one of the oddities about college football is you can't turn pro early. Okay, so these guys, if these are basketball players, they're a tough matchup in the NFL. And so now they're out here in college football. They're a really tough matchup in this game.
Second down. That's a school record held by the late Kenny McKinley, number 7. He caught 77 his senior year. Second down. 3:34 to go.
There was a miscommunication between his offensive line and the call on the play, and Garcia took a smart timeout.
3:33 to go. The always expressive head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. Now let's take a look at our Home Depot tools for success.
Well, our expert Vern Lundquist told you what he's impressed with is what Cam Newton is doing in the pocket. South Carolina's put pressure on him, and then they brought a spy on him, but it has not worked. And here's the key. Watch this last one. Antonio Allen, number 26, 6'2", 205, has to tackle this man, 250 pounds. And he's given the same trouble to South Carolina that Michael Vick does in the NFL. You come at him full speed. If you're a big guy, he's too fast. If you're a little guy, you can't tackle him.
South Carolina has a second down after the call timeout. Lead of 7. 4 down. They're bringing 5. And a blitz from the corner. DeSharvin Bell coming hard. And Garcia going deep. Ball is up for grabs and incomplete. DeMond Washington was back there. It was intended for D.L. Moore.
Well, D.L. Moore did exactly what you're supposed to do and you're taught. When the quarterback scrambles your way and you're on that side, you go to the outside and then you turn upfield. Garcia saw him a little late, and Moore still almost came up with it.
3rd and 7.
Now, against Alabama, Ted Roof was blitzing on 3rd down. He couldn't do it in the first half. He never got Alabama to 3rd down. Let's see if he goes back to the blitz to keep pressure. Yeah, they got to delay a game.
Wow.
I'd like to see Steve's face on that one. Now, the first one he got through.
Timeout, South Carolina.
Oh, it must have been Steve that called timeout.
For the first half. That will be a 30-second timeout.
Don't we all hate that rule?
All right, this time.
Right.
The expression.
He might be good in a lot of things. I bet he's not a good poker player.
Kind of a gray overcast day here in the southeast. Aerial coverage of the SEC on CBS Sports, provided by Goodyear. And a reminder coming up at the half. Stay tuned for the Dr. Pepper tuition throw. Hosted by Tracy Wolfson. Yep.
Big timeout that time. You know, 3rd and 13, you're not going to pick up.
Alshon Jeffrey near side. Chris Davis, number 11, comes up to defend him. DeMond Washington's also up close to the line. Garcia steps up, goes deep, incomplete. Look for Jeffrey, a good 3 feet over his head.
And he had Chris Davis, a freshman, covering him. And this was an errant throw this time. Right down here, going to go up, square in. Pressure. There it is. You know what it looks to me is that maybe Alshon Jeffrey came out of his route a little early on the play and rushed the throw. You got to square back up and give your quarterback time on the play.
First punt of the game. This is Spencer Lanning, place kicker and punter. Steve Spurrier said of his effort in the win at Clemson, he was brilliant. Here's Darvin Adams. Oh, dangerous. Monday on CBS, CY 2.5 Men is a People's Choice Award nominee for favorite TV comedy. Don't miss an all-new episode Monday only. CBS.
Did you notice anything? You didn't see Quindarius Carr out there. Remember the last punt return in that game?
He chose to return a punt late in the game against Alabama. Unwisely, it turned out he was hit immediately, fumbled, and this Auburn defense held Alabama to a field goal. So
right.
Darvin Adams back.
So what is Ellis Johnson going to do here? You know, I mean, the spy game is not working. I think he needs to attack him.
Newton. There's Lutzenkirchen. And a rare catch that is not for a touchdown.
It's full throttle, and you'll notice that Auburn has changed formations already. It's a bootleg. Lutzenkirchen comes across. No way. A little bit of an action, and he's open. And quickly, after a first down, they've got a new group out there.
And that's Michael Dyer, the freshman.
And this is where the defensive coaches in college football are wondering why the officials aren't giving the defense more time to substitute. When the offense changes personnel, the umpire should hold the line of scrimmage and allow the defense to change.
On 2nd and 6, that was it.
Yeah.
And let's go down to Tracy for this injury update.
Well, guys, starting senior linebacker Tony Straughter on the sideline right down. He went down with a left ankle sprain. They taped it heavily, put a soft brace on it. They're hoping to get him back on the game, but he remains on the sideline right now, guys.
Quinn Smith has taken his place, and it's 3rd and 6.
And South Carolina has their base defense out there. They have not gone to their nickel or dime package. One of the things they said the reason why, Vern, is, remember, if Auburn makes it, they're stuck with the dime package on first down.
All out blitz, good protection. Darvin Adams wide open. He'll stroll in for the score.
I'll tell you.
That's Stephon Gilmore. He was looking at the back of the jersey of Darvin Adams. And Cam Newton is thrown for 2.
They call him smooth, and he runs a hitch and go. It's 3rd and 7. If you're a corner, you're thinking, remember, this guy's going to go to the first down line and try to get a first down. He didn't. He went to the first down line and then went a go.
Extra point, up and good.
Got your best cover guy down here, one-on-one, inside technique. See it? You know it's man-to-man. They bring the blitz, hitch and go. Look at that, right on the first down line. And that means one of those running backs, I think it was Mario Fannin, number 27, must have picked up his block on the play. Hitch and go.
Well, that's pretty basic, isn't it? 21-7. Next Saturday, it is more than a game. The 111th meeting between these intense rivals. The Army-Navy game presented by USAA. And it all begins with Tim and Spencer on the TIAA Cref College Football Today program. Darvin Adams, 54-yard pass and catch.
It was a blitz, and when you blitz, you have to have time to run a hitch and go. Watch the 2 running backs, Eric Smith and Mario Fannin. I'm sorry, both of them come up with their blocks. That creates the pocket right there. Hitch and go. You don't have that time if those running backs don't pick the end man in the line of scrimmage and the linebacker up. You know what we're going to find out now? We know that Auburn can play from behind.
Right.
We're going to find out if South Carolina can play from behind.
Newton for the day, 7 of 10 for 184 yards. And Darvin Adams, 4 catches already, 140 yards. Byram with the kick. Sherman at the 4.
It's a fast game.
Yes,
they are
it is.
flying down the field.
Akeem Means, a walk-on defensive back, number 15, was the first there.
Well, there's a lot of stats. Garcia's 5 for 7. Cam Newton's off to his normal hot start. But the stat that sticks out for me right now, Marcus Lattimore, 3 rushes for 8 yards.
Wow.
Remember last time, he only ran the ball against Auburn 14 times for 33 yards. South Carolina needs a running game.
Well, Lattimore will split wide to the right, leaving Garcia with an empty backfield, 4-man rush. He was obviously the primary receiver on the play, and he picks up about 3.
Almost like a run, a long handoff here. Get the ball in the hands of Lattimore.
Lattimore, whose final choice came down to either Auburn or South Carolina. Out of Duncan, South Carolina, outstanding #1 prospect, and Michael Dyer ranked by many as #2 playing for Auburn. But Dyer tried to convince Lattimore to come and play. He said, "I'm staying home." Big recruit for Steve Spurrier and the Gamecocks. Here's Alshon Jeffrey.
Unbalanced line to the left.
Garcia comes this way, lobs it out. Corey Gurley, number 81, makes the catch. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Demond Washington, number 14, with the stop. Well, these 2 outstanding running backs, Lattimore for South Carolina, Dyer for Auburn. And you can see that they're up in the top 4 freshman running backs, true freshmen, in the NCAA this year. 3rd down, 2. Test the middle with Lattimore. Don't think he got it. Looked like Josh Vines, who again this year is the leading tackler for Auburn, made the stop.
I'll tell you, Nick Fairley did not make the play on this one, Vern, but watch what he does. Why his penetration. Watch him arm over and slip inside. Wow. He's into the backfield, and that allows Josh Vines to clean it up. You can't get to the linebacker when that type of defensive tackle play. And now, 4th down. Oh, right here at the end of the quarter. Steve's going to think about this through the whole break.
That's the end of 1. Been fairly entertaining. That was deliberate. That's the end of the 1st quarter with the score 21-7. We'll return to the Georgia Dome after this message and a word from your local station. Got Darvin Adams deep.
Touchdown, Auburn!
We welcome you back for the 2nd at the Georgia Dome, the 2010 SEC Championship. South Carolina will punt on 4th and 1.5. Spencer Lanning is on. Darvin Adams back to return the 2nd punt of the ball game. 21-7. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson here in Atlanta. Nice and high.
Yeah, Auburn did punt safe. That's why we're getting a fair catch from Darvin Adams.
And he takes it at the 15. Well, take a breath. Examine this one.
Well, you know, in this league, I'm not going to say, I just saw 24-0 Auburn come back, okay? Anything can happen, but I think the South Carolina defense now, Ellis Johnson's going to have to find something. His game plan has not worked. The spy didn't work. The blitz didn't work. What is he going to go to next? I mean, Cam Newton has been spectacular against the blitz in his career, and he just delivered another one. 2 big plays in the passing game already.
And it's a first down at the 16-yard line. 17, I beg your pardon. And off right up the middle to the freshman, Michael Dyer out of Little Rock, Arkansas. 8,000 yards in his career. Tackle made by Swearingen.
Gus Malzahn has coached 25 games at Auburn, Vern, and in 10 of those games, his offense has produced 500 or more yards.
That's amazing.
They had 229 in the first quarter.
Play action. Again, all day. There's the safety valve. It's too high. He had too much time. Intended for Ontario McCaleb.
Well, you know, if you're up front and you're facing all this misdirection and all these plays, and remember another thing, we probably don't, I should just say I don't. I do not give this Auburn offensive line enough credit. 4 seniors, they've been through the wars, and they are really focused in producing right now against this good defensive line.
Well, you've got 73, Lee Zimba. This is his 51st start. That's a career record. Mike Berry, 34 starts. Ryan Pugh, the center, 45th start. Isom has a bundle. The only relative newcomer in that line is Brandon Mosley, number 75. Well, it's like Cam Newton favoring that right hand.
Yeah, he was looking at it. I wonder if he hit a helmet as he let the ball go. He did.
Yes.
In Allen's helmet right in the head.
So time has been called, and we'll return. Auburn quarterback Cam Newton, as we went to commercial, favoring that right hand of his, hit the helmet of Antonio Allen. He has been a dominant force in the headlines for the last month. All about the allegations of a violation of amateurism, and the NCAA concluded Wednesday in the Cam Newton case that he was okay and eligible to play after he was declared ineligible. Request for reinstatement made, and then this statement on Wednesday from the NCAA from Kevin Lennon. In determining how a violation impacts a student athlete's eligibility, we must consider the young person's responsibility based on the information available to the reinstatement staff at this time. We do not have sufficient evidence that Cam Newton or anyone from Auburn was aware of this activity, which led to his reinstatement. So the investigation continues. He's eligible as of now.
We'll say this, he did not throw at all during the timeout. It can't be bothering him. He didn't warm up at all. And Steve Spurrier punted for this 3rd and long. They have to stop him here.
Let me just clarify the way I ended that last statement. I said as of now. There's no indication that a different kind of ruling is going to come down. Here's at now.
What a throw.
Very complex. Here's Darvin Adams. Well, the SEC commissioner asked to comment on the Cam Newton situation. This was a case of first impression. The SEC had to determine whether it violated SEC bylaws for an individual's family member to solicit funds from an institution. That is different from the one he attended. Ultimately, I had to determine what the appropriate league response was. After balancing all of these factors and after considering all of that, I did not believe that he had violated our bylaws. Player down.
Yeah, Vern, I really applaud the commissioner here. He could have thrown Cam Newton under the bus here, and everybody would have applauded him. He went for the law, and there was no proof, and he says we're just going to live with it the way it is. Now, I do want to say something here. It's the 2nd time a South Carolina defensive lineman has gone down in the middle of a drive. Remember Cal against Oregon? It became almost an unsportsmanlike display. I'm not accusing anybody yet, but we need to keep an eye on this.
Melvin Ingram went down. Report from the bench was a cramp. Now, Robertson, number 42, limps off.
Right, against that game, Cal was faking injuries to slow down the hurry-up offense of Oregon. Now, nobody ever accuses a player of faking injuries, but it's become a strategy to try to slow down the offenses, at least it was for Cal, and get other players on the field.
First down, 10. Newton, this time he's caught and dropped. Devin Taylor, number 98.
And Devin Taylor's going to be a star in this league if he isn't already. He's 6'8", an intelligent football player, plays off the block that time from Eric Smith and makes the play. He is going to be a force before he's done. Came here to South Carolina kind of as a string bean, but boy, he's maturing into one of the greats in this league.
Second down and 9. Boy, he's got all day to throw.
Out of bounds, though.
Yeah. Cody Burns, the former starter at quarterback 2 years ago, and what for all members of the Auburn family was a dismal year, 2008.
And this was a complete bust by the secondary for South Carolina. And had it been an accurate throw, I think Cody Burns could have taken that down to at least the 15, 20, 10-yard line.
Auburn is 4 of 4 on third downs in the ballgame.
Cam Newton is looking over here to his coach to get the play.
Timeout. Yeah, and he's looking at semaphore signals being sent in by a quartet of guys on the sidelines as well. The SEC Championship game on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper, will continue at this word from your local station. Well, you see 3 of the guys, Neil Cottle, a backup quarterback. They're the 3. Trotter also sending numbers in.
Yeah, you talked to, see, Cam Newton could not see the signals on the play. Now watch Gus Malzahn's face right here. What the heck? Been practicing this since August, and he says you need to either get your angle different or what, but it's numbers, it's colors, and sometimes I even wonder from far away if the white on white jerseys kind of confused him a little bit. And the numbers, see that? He could not see it, and that's what caused the timeout.
3rd and 9. He escapes the tackle again. Fumble and a scramble for the football. Who got it? Cliff Matthews forced it. South Carolina.
This is a hustle play, Vern, all the way. Cam Newton avoids Cliff Matthews. And then the hustle from behind. Cliff Matthews makes the play. It reminds me of the big play Antoine Carter made, remember, against Alabama that changed the football game? Could that hustle play kickstart South Carolina?
First career fumble lost for Newton. The play to which Gary refers happened last week when Carter hit the ball out of Mark Ingram's hands. And that was only his second career lost fumble. But, oh, look at Garcia. A week ago Friday, here was the Carter play and Bryant Denny. Recovered in the end zone, touchback. And a moment ago.
Cliff Matthews, the same thing. Can't make the first play, comes from behind, gets some help up front that time by, I don't know who it was. I actually didn't see it, to be honest with you. Was it Devin Taylor?
Now, attention being, I think it might have been, Garrett. Second down. Garcia. Oh, he's hit as he lets it go. And it's intercepted.
Guess who?
Darren Bates got it.
But I'll tell you what, who made the play?
Nick Fairley. And that was reminiscent of a play we saw earlier.
And he was warned by the referee about not driving Garcia into the ground. Watch Fairley. Breaks through 2 guys and then lays out the quarterback on the play. Excuse me. Couldn't get it cleared in time. And when you got your eyes on number 90, he makes the play and causes the interception.
Reverse. Terrell Zachary, 81. Now let's go down to Tracy right quick.
Well, guys, there was a lot of attention being paid to Cam Newton on the sideline by the trainers. He had a cut on that left arm, and they were unable to get the Band-Aid on because of the interception, guys. He's still bleeding.
2nd down and 7.
Turf burn. Those will hurt in the shower more during the game. I can guarantee you that. Played my whole career on turf almost.
Newton for Darvin Adams, hit from behind, no flag.
That was very close. I think Darvin Adams makes this catch if there hadn't been a little bit of hick from DJ Swearinger. See if he gets there before the ball does. He did, but not that obvious. It was close, and in slow motion, it's a lot easier to call.
And the reaction you're hearing is as it is replayed inside the Georgia Dome. 3rd down.
It looks like a 3-man rush, but will they bring more?
Yes.
Bring 5.
Newton. Adams drops it. Whoa!
I'll tell you, the hit before by Swearinger caused the drop on this one. Watch Darvin Adams, and he goes and headbutts him afterwards too. Perfect throw. Watch this. Can't drop it, and then watch him get ready to turn around and headbutt on the play. He knew Swearinger was going to be there.
That'll bring on Ryan Shoemaker for Auburn's first punt. And Ace Sanders, number 9, is back at the 30-yard line. Sanders, fair catch, runs up, grabs it at the 37. 36-yard punt, nothing on the return. Auburn with a couple of drops.
This is what a lot of the defensive backs are saying you can't take out of the game. You have to give a message to these receivers so they drop the next one.
From TV's #1 comedy to the #1 new comedy, the #1 news magazine, the #1 news show, and the #1 show on television. Thank you for making CBS America's #1 network.
Giving Nick Fairley a rest on this drive right here, I believe. I don't see him in the game.
1st down 10. Jeffrey Whitaker, number 54, is there. Here's the toss. And an opening in Lattimore. Around the right side. Stevens with the tackle, but a 1st down after the pickup of 12.
Well, I said they need to get the ball to Lattimore in the running game. They had to go to the option to do it. Lattimore, before that carry, 4 attempts for 8 yards. That's his longest carry of the game. And if Lattimore's not taking some clock off the game and helping Garcia, I don't know if they can pass block that front 4 for Auburn.
1st down 10. Tried the left side this time. Garcia pulls up, runs.
Run all the way.
Yep. All right. This is your favorite part of every telecast. Cue the guy. And the Aflac trivia question, which 2 coaches have won SEC titles with multiple schools? Of course, Steve Spurrier owned this championship in the 90s at Florida and trying to join that short list. 2nd down 4. Lattimore looks over to the side. And he tests the middle, got a lot of room.
Yes, he did. I think that's the best way for South Carolina. I think if you're talking to the Auburn coaches, they didn't want to load the box against South Carolina because they didn't believe, as we look at Nick Fairley right there, had a shot, but DeMarco did a good job of taking Fairley's legs out on the play. They didn't believe Spurrier would have enough patience to run the ball. They thought their front four could control the line of scrimmage. I think Steve has to show him he's willing to do it.
First down 10.
Got one-on-one everywhere on this one. And Auburn checks out of it into a double zone.
Jeffrey, bottom of the screen.
Great
They go the other way. Yep.
Great defense by Josh Bynes that time, Vern. Josh is the quarterback on the play.
Flag down.
I think they're wondering if this was intentional grounding, because I don't think it was. Josh Bynes right here checks out of the play, calls a double zone. They might pick this flag up.
Now the indication is it is against.
Wow, an illegal jam or
illegal
something.
motion,
Must be
yeah.
pass interference. The ball was in the air. That's all I can think of.
Looked like a motion call.
Illegal motion.
Oh.
Number 1 of the offense. Penalties decline.
Now.
Second down.
I'm way in the secondary. I'm not worried about those little.
Well, I'll fess up here. I saw the preliminary signal.
Oh, okay, good.
I wouldn't deceive you. Second down. (21-7) with 9:45 to go in the half. DeMarco split wide to the left. Jason Barnes, number 4, also on the top. There's Garcia. He's got him open. Oh, it's behind him.
Free play.
Oh.
Touchdown, too.
And Lattimore known for his receiving skills out of the backfield.
Free play. Touchdown. If he throws this to the other side of Lattimore, it's a touchdown on the play.
Offside. Number 90 of the defense. 5-yard penalty in the previous spot. Second down.
Nick Fairley.
Yeah, inside. You can see he sticks one foot out right there. But watch the beautiful play by Steve up the sideline. Goes flat and then breaks inside. It's a touchdown. Bad throw.
Yeah, it was. Second and 5. Lattimore. It'll be third, 2 or 3, depending on the spot, as Antoine Carter, number 45, got there for Auburn.
I really have to believe that right now, as South Carolina calls plays, he's thinking he's got 2 downs to pick this up.
Third and 4. Gurley goes out. Ace Sanders comes in. He and Jason Barnes to the right side. They loaded up with 3 receivers, bottom of the screen. Garcia. Jeffries at the top. Auburn blitzing. Garcia caught, dropped, 4th down. Nosa Igwe.
Yeah. Auburn and Ted Roof's doing a good job. They jumped into what they call the bear look, Vern. Sinking their defensive linemen over the guards, 2 guards in the center, and putting pressure outside. See the 3 guys in here, and then off the edge, they bring 2 of them. 5-man rush, good coverage in the secondary, runs himself right into a sack.
This would equal Spencer Lanning's long. Earlier this year, he canned one from 51 against Furman. That's curving. No.
That ball looked to me like it was on the TV screen right all the way, or it was curving. I think if he'd have been 5 yards closer, that might have hung inside the post.
Well, Lanning misfires, hooks it left. Opportunity gone for Steve Spurrier and the Gamecocks.
Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, we'll get you caught up on all the action, including number 2 Oregon aiming for a shot at the BCS title, leading 16-7 in the third. Now back to Vern and Gary.
All right, Tim, thank you. Look forward to the halftime report. It's 21-7. Well, Cam Newton, the good and the bad. It was great at the start.
A lot of good. He's avoided the pass rush. Remember, this is the #1 pass rush in the SEC. He's shown that he can deliver the tough yards inside. And that third and medium hook and go was a beauty. He's had 1 turnover when wonderful play from the backside. Cliff Matthews keeps South Carolina in the football game.
8:09 to go before the break. First down 10. Ryan Pugh, the center, snaps it back. Quick flip out to Blake. Oh, we could have a face mask there on Swearinger.
Here's the tough part of this defense, to defense this offense. The offensive linemen are playing this as a run. They don't know if the running back's going to get it or it's going to be thrown out. Watch up front. Ryan Pugh, the offensive lineman, they're blocking it just like a running play. And it's up to Cam Newton to decide, can I go outside or not?
Face mask, obviously, on Swearinger. And that is going to, after it is marked off, will go across the 50 to the 48-yard line.
Here's the question for this South Carolina defense. How many stops do they have in them? They've just had 2, a turnover and a punt, and they didn't get any points on the back end of it.
Newton, with Mike Berry leading the way, the left guard pulled and led him on a gain of 8.
Vern, this is almost unfair. Watch this guy. Great blocking up front. Just follows his big offensive lineman. That time it's Mike Berry, as you called it, and just glides for about 9 yards. 8 yards.
Second down and 2. Barry O'Fannin is in the ball game. Fake to him, and Newton appears to have moved. Well, let's see. The spot's going to come back a yard. We'll measure. Gene Chizik, Florida grad, as is Steve Spurrier. He was 18 years later. Gene graduated in 1985, was a walk-on for the Gators, early 80s.
And now remember, everybody has been talking about Spurrier has been able to win in back-to-back games, but Gene Chizik was part of that staff for Auburn that beat Tennessee twice in that undefeated season. So he can draw on a lot of experience. Of course, he's also part of that Texas team, an Auburn team that won 29 straight games combined, the 2 teams combined. So he knows how to manage this pressure. He's learned it from Mac Brown, how to get his team ready. He's one of the best.
Auburn won this championship game in 2004. Gilmore comes, and there's the ad-lib. And Eric Smith, that's close to a first down. Devontae Holloman.
Kind of running out of adjectives here.
Yeah, I know it.
It's only the second quarter, too. Defense well. Gilmore's free. He runs right away from him, makes almost another first down again. Yeah, Steve, yeah, come on.
That's Eric Smith's 4th catch of the season. So Newton finding a little bit of everything in the bag. Deep left. Oh, that's a second drop for Darvin Adams. He had a 62-yard catch to open the first series for Cam Newton at Auburn.
I will say this. At this stage of his career, he is a superior passer to Michael Vick, Tim Tebow, and Vince Young.
Vince Young as well.
Yes, he is.
3rd down. And so, let's see where the spot is at. Yellow line unofficial, of course, but it appeared he got it. Lottie Ajiboy, number 91, was defending. I knew how you felt about Tebow. I had an idea how you felt about Vic, but Vince Young, that's high praise.
He's a much further along in his style. Now, can that defensive line, South Carolina just needs to start winning up front. Remember, the teams that have given Auburn trouble has not been by scheme. It's not been anything that a coach comes up with. It's been defeating the block at the point of attack. You've got to win up front. It's as simple as that.
There's Gene Chizik on the left, Gus Malzahn, who was at Tulsa when Gene Chizik got the job. And he called Malzahn, he said they'd never met, and he said, give me your 3 best running plays. And Chizik liked Malzahn's offer and said, come and work for me.
What did he say, Newton right, Newton left?
Yes, he did. First and 10. Whoops.
There you go. They had to attack it. I just don't see any other way. You have to hit the play in the mouth. You can't allow this quarterback to stand back there and make decisions. Josh Dickerson that time timed it up perfectly. Again, Auburn substitutes. South Carolina does not.
And so after the loss of 2, second down and 12. South Carolina with 3 down. And they bring just 3. Newton, play fake. Fires it. Caught! 15-yard line. This time, Dorvin Adams hangs on. 15-yard gain.
Well, Dorvin Adams, yeah, he was the leading receiver last year. He's the leading receiver this year. He was the Outback MVP, and he's had a couple of key drops in this game, but on one of the toughest ones, he outfought Gilmore on it.
The keeper.
See, they won inside that time.
Yeah. 4:05 to go before the break. Here are the Auburn red zone stats, the Verizon zone stats. 41 of 59, touchdown percentage of 69%. And they've got a second down 11.
Now one-on-one coverage, you can tell by the technique by Gilmore right here. He's playing inside technique. He's got Adams one-on-one to the outside.
Timeout. Auburn has used all 3. I wonder if that same difficulty popped up.
I think it did. I don't know if he could find Gus Malzahn. He couldn't find the numbers, and finally just signaled timeout.
Well, Vince Young had that marvelous season in 05 when the Longhorns went out and defeated USC in a thrilling championship game. Take a look at the stats. They measure up pretty well, don't they?
Yeah. And Vince Young's a good football player.
Yep. Gene Chizik was on that Mac Brown staff at Texas.
Has his troubles lately, Vince is. Hurt now.
Read that. Second down, McCaleb. They crash inside. Newton settles short. Cody Burns. And he's got it inside the 5, it would appear.
Came to his second receiver that time. Looked downfield. Again, had time to look for one guy and then come back to the guy who was a starting quarterback. And if you talk to the players, oh, we got a little penalty on this play.
Yep.
Had time because of holding, huh?
Offense. Number 43. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
That's Lutzenkirchen.
See if we can find him. There he is.
He's over to
right
the left.
there.
Yep.
And he yanked him down. Yes, as he fell down, he got off balance, and then he pulled him down. You're going to get that call every time.
Lutzenkirchen brought Melvin Ingram to the floor.
That probably is a 7-point penalty right there.
Eric Smith in at H-back now. 2nd and 21. Toss, McCaleb. Weaves around Allen. And gets inside the 20. Swearinger finally made the tackle.
And Vern, remember we asked Gus Malzahn, what's your goal with this offense? He said 80 plays. Right now, Auburn's at 39 in the first half. I asked him if he ever got to 80 and lost, and he said never.
3rd and 14. 2:25 to go before the break.
Oh, Zimba.
Yeah,
Out
Zimba.
here. Look at this.
Yes.
Threw it away.
Yes, he did, and Zimba really wanted it.
I know, he was selling it out. He wanted that pass. Come on, I started 51 games. I've been growing my hair all year. I can do this. Zimba shifts out. It's a gimmick play, but remember it's 3rd and 14. You shouldn't fall for a gimmick on 3rd and 14. Zimba lines up as a receiver. Look at him. I want the ball. I want the ball.
No, that was his moment.
On the offense, more than 4 in the backfield. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, that really upset the coaching staff for Auburn. They had a gimmick formation, and it was called illegal. Didn't mean a whole lot. I'm surprised.
That is the 2nd time in the game they've been called for 4 in the backfield. Here's Wes Byram. This is from 36 yards away.
No.
No.
Wow.
A doink.
That holding penalty by Lutzenkirchen could change this football game. 2 missed field goals, 1 by each team. And now South Carolina, as you look at Gene Chizik, he knew he wanted those points badly. I don't know if he wanted 24-7. That's an unlucky score. But now, with 2 minutes to go, South Carolina has the ball. 1 timeout. Remember, they get the ball to start the second half.
1st down 10 at the 20. Garcia forced to scramble. Hit as he lets it go, and it's caught for a gain of 8. Torrey Gurley, number 81. They'll have to hurry. They do have 1 timeout left. 1:40 to go in the half. Garcia hit as he lets it go, and this one's incomplete. Antoine Carter got to Garcia about the time of release.
Well, South Carolina has the stats, but this front 4 for Auburn has been the difference. And that time it was Carter, Antoine Carter, number 45, that just cleanly beat that offensive tackle and forced that bad throw.
3rd and 2. 1:25 to go before halftime.
Lattimore not in a running position here, real wide. Oh, it's the option, I see.
Got the 1st down. Tight ropes down the sidelines. And it's time now to cue the duck for a 2nd time. Which 2 coaches have won SEC titles with multiple schools? Bear Bryant, Kentucky and Alabama. Nick Saban, LSU and Alabama. Spurrier with, well, he's upset about something. I guess you could say that a lot of
Pretty
plays.
much. I was surprised. I knew it was going to be a run play, and the formation confused me, but the option call was a good call.
1:16 to go. Garcia heaves it. He's got Gurley down there, and there comes the flag.
The smart penalty right
yes.
there.
Zach Etheridge badly beaten on the play.
Smart penalty. And that's why that rule will never be changed in the NFL for plays just like that. You'd gladly take a 15-yard penalty because the big number one out there, Alshon Jeffrey, was 15 yards in the open, and Etheridge had no idea where the football would be.
Pass interference, number 4 of the defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
They had him double teamed on this play too, playing in and out. These two guys got him in and out. Watch this. Comes down, and they think Garcia's in trouble. They leave the receiver. Both of them leave. I'm sorry, it was not Jeffrey. It was Torrey Gurley.
Torrey Gurley.
Excuse me, I saw that big one. Still a great play not to let that ball get to Gurley.
After the penalty, it does move just inside the 41. 67 seconds to go.
Remember, this is a pro football field, so there's 2 sets of hash marks. The wider hash marks are the college football hash marks.
First down 10. Left side, Gurley again, out of bounds. 61 seconds to go.
Remember the late score that Auburn put up on the board against Alabama. Then they came out with a touchdown on the first drive in the second half, and all of a sudden the pressure shifted to Alabama. Can South Carolina follow that blueprint? A field goal would be huge.
Blitz. Garcia near side. Caught by DeMarco, and he is out of bounds with a first down. In front of Nico Thorpe, 14-yard gain. 56 seconds to go. Well, we've got our own quartet here at halftime, the Geico halftime report with Tim and Spencer, Tony Barnhart, and Archie Manning. Tony's rehearsing his ad-libs. Garcia overthrown.
Second touchdown pass Garcia's missed in this game. He missed Marcus Lattimore earlier. And this ball, if properly thrown, he had a touchdown on the play. Playing against some great competition out here. Can't give away those 7-pointers.
Well, we've seen a couple, haven't we? We saw Darvin Adams drop a touchdown. And now Garcia overthrows D.L. Moore in the end zone. 49 seconds to go. 2nd and 10. Alshon Jeffrey wide left. Gurley wide right. 2 men in the slot.
Shifted the bear and movement up front. And that was a very demonstrative shift by Josh Bynes. And the offensive line reacted to it. Josh Bynes, and I'm wondering if they may, you never know here, if they may say it was too much of a shift call.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 66 of the offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, 2nd down.
Watch Josh Bynes, Vern, excuse me here. Right in the middle, watch his shift call, how strong it is, and it affects the movement there. See, when they move, that's what it caused it.
Well, interpreted as a false start, so 5 yards against South Carolina.
And I think that was the right call because the tackle, Eckerson, moved on the movement, not on the hand shift.
Right. Pressure up the middle. Zach Taylor, the pass is complete, and it will be, I believe, enough for a first down.
No, it's
I beg your pardon.
Third and long.
Thank you. I just saw one one end of the
That's all right. Steve is hurrying him up. Gimmick play here, and now he takes a late timeout. Really doesn't matter.
Last timeout.
Well, I guess it would if they made a first down, wouldn't it?
Monday on CBS. Only CBS.
I watched the show.
Yes.
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah, I like this show. I wish I was one of those guys, one of those spy guys. I really do.
Yeah?
I'd give this up in a second.
There was a clock issue. Yeah. They've added 3 seconds to the game clock. That's a very strong endorsement. I can see it.
I like that show.
I can see
really
it in print
good.
ads, right?
Yeah. It's like a, oh well, let's get
New
into
York
the game.
Times?
No, it's a really good show. I like it. All right, no timeouts, 3rd and 10. If they don't get the first down, they have to be ready to run their field goal team on the field. Plenty of time to do it. Takes about 12 seconds to get your field goal team out there.
Stephon Gilmore looks on from the side. Here's the updated quarterback comparison, Newton and Garcia.
Remember, they both started 4 for 4.
Yeah.
They've been a little inaccurate since the start.
3rd and 9. Chris Davis on Alshon Jeffrey. Crossing route, Lattimore to the 10. How about that play?
He's short. They do not have a timeout. They have to get up there. Oh, an injured player by Auburn is going to give it a timeout here.
Zach Etheridge is the player down for Auburn.
What a route by Marcus Lattimore here. He had one-on-one. It was 2 deep safeties, man-to-man. Etheridge on the freshman. Fakes. One way you never can get beat inside. You can let him go outside. You can't get beat inside. And it almost was a touchdown.
Lattimore.
And what game was it, Vern, that I think it was last year when Spurrier threw 3 straight fades to Alshon Jeffrey and they were all incomplete. Was it Alabama? I think it was against Alabama. And they were 0 for 3 on the play.
Right.
You've got Alshon Jeffrey out there that is 6'4", 240, great ball skills. How about this? 4 straight high school basketball championships. And you know what he said? I'm not bragging, I'm good in basketball. He's pretty good as a wide receiver.
Well, that's a fade pattern. Garcia to Jeffrey. It wasn't Bryant Denny. Here's the first. Here's the second.
I didn't even know we had this package. How about this?
And the third.
Remember, though, Vern, they didn't have number 21 when they did that.
Jeffrey is wide right. They go inside. It is caught. Touchdown. Garcia to Alshon Jeffrey.
What a drive. What happened is, because of the formation, Auburn had to play the run, and once Jeffrey got inside the smaller Washington, it was no match.
And the extra point coming with 16 seconds.
Great drive. Just a
How about that?
perfect drive. Yeah. It's what competition is all about.
And you noted South Carolina will get the ball to open the second half.
Yep, very similar, eerily similar to the Alabama game.
Steven Garcia finds Alshon Jeffrey for the touchdown over DeMond Washington.
Auburn was forced to play it honest because of the tailback here. Look at all the guys inside. They're a bit confused. One-on-one to the outside. That's a mismatch. Not going to happen. But let's go back. Remember, it would have been 1st and goal from the 4 with about 2 minutes to go. South Carolina would have never got the ball back. That penalty right there gave South Carolina the opportunity for the drive.
Lutsen Kirkland, one of the heroes in the win over Alabama. He caught the go-ahead touchdown that made it 28-27. Alshon Jeffrey, who once committed to the other USC.
Well, and as A.J. Green said, that guy's never going to pump gas. The infamous quote by Lane Kiffin.
Right. When he was the coach at Tennessee, he said of Alshon Jeffrey, if he signs with South Carolina, he's going to wind up pumping gas. Lane Kiffin. Squib kick taken up at the 42-yard line by Eric Smith, number 32. Well, he committed to Southern California, did Alshon Jeffrey, and then changed his mind and decided to come to South Carolina, and what a brilliant 2 years he has had.
And look, it was the key players that Steve Spurrier has recruited to South Carolina. Marcus Lattimore, Alshon Jeffrey, Devontae Holloman. Those guys stayed home. They wanted to do it at South Carolina. Spurrier even danced.
I know.
To get Lattimore there.
Yeah, that's the story that Spurrier did the cha-cha slide with Lattimore's mom, Yolanda Smith. Here's Newton, fires it short, complete, and out of bounds to stop the clock with 7 seconds to go. Emory Blake makes the tackle.
Does give you a shot with the strength of Cam Newton's arm to throw one of those deep balls and a Big Ben tip it around.
What did we see him throw it yesterday in the walkthrough?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Almost 70 yards.
70 yards. Big Ben, they line up to the right side. There she goes. Tussle tipped. Oh my gosh! Darvin Adams, touchdown on the Hail Mary. Well.
Play it to the whistle. I think it was Devontae Holloman, number 21, who tipped it. It was. And then the guy who had 2 drops earlier in the game snaps it. That short pass gave them just enough yards to do this play.
Let's go down to Tracy, who is with Steve Spurrier.
You had that drive to pull it within 7, and then you give up the Hail Mary.
Yeah, we looked pretty stupid on that last play, but sometimes that happens. We're only 2 down. We get the ball back, so we just got to keep grinding out.
How about that final offensive drive for you, though? What worked there to pull within 7?
Oh, we just happened to catch Marcus one-on-one with the linebacker. But we need to play a lot better offensively and defensively.
Thanks a lot, Vern.
All right. The Hail Mary at the end of the half, taken by Darvin Adams. That's the end of the first half with the score 28-14. We'll be back with the Dr. Pepper tuition throw after this message from your local station.
Underway, a high kick. And Newton goes deep down the field. There's Adams, touchdown, Auburn!
And it's intercepted. Darren Bates got it. There she goes. Oh my gosh! Just another average SEC championship game. We get set for the start of the second half. Moments ago, Tracy Wolfson with Gene Chizik.
Coach, an unexpected touchdown to end the half there. How does that change things?
It was a lot of fun. We just felt like we had 2 plays left. We thought we could hit one to the boundary and just take a shot and throw it up there. Great throw, great catch. Obviously gave us some momentum, but I'm going to tell you, we're going to have to play much better in the second half. We didn't play well in the first half in a lot of instances, both offensively and defensively. We got to crank it up.
You saw the South Carolina team start clawing their way back. You've been in that situation, so how do you keep the pedal on the gas?
Oh, there's no question. They're not going away. They're going to fight all the way through this. This is going to be a 30-minute brawl down to the end right now. We got to stay focused. We got to play better.
Good luck. Thanks a lot.
All right, Tracy, thank you. 28-14 as we get set for the start of the third quarter. Recall that Auburn won the toss and they opted to receive to start the game, and that means as we get set for the third, the South Carolina Gamecocks will get the football.
I think you have a pretty good chance if you're Gene Chizik to get the attention of your football team when you were down 24-7 a week ago and came back and won it.
Yeah, a lot of teaching points.
Yeah,
at that
I
time.
think he can say, listen, this game is not over.
Of course, the big play was at the end of the half, and this is the first time that Auburn has found themselves on top at halftime in the last three. Bryce Sherman is the deep man. He waits at the 5. Wes Byram will kick off. Sherman at the goal line. Heading right and down, probably the 26-yard line by the time they spot it. Well, you're South Carolina, Gary. You take a dagger at the end of the half. You do get the ball. Now, what are your tactics?
Yeah, I think the way Steve Spurrier thinks, we're 2 down. Come on, put a touchdown up. Remember, 24-7, both Boise State and Alabama led, and they both lost the football game. Put 1 touchdown on the board, and remember, the pressure will start to shift. They have to stay in the football game for Auburn to feel the pressure, and that's why these games got to count. And I laugh these people that say you can lose this game and get in the national championship. Why play Cam in the second half if that was the case?
Yes. There's the flip out left. The catch is made. That's D.L. Moore, and Gary, take us through the halftime trends.
Well, you know, when you put these type of points up, you know, Cam Newton's going to have his yards, 280. Of course, that last play figured into that. And you look at Garcia, he made some bad throws, but he made some good throws and got his team in the game that last touchdown. Adams with the record, 42 points. Even though 50 yards by Auburn was the last play, they still nearly put, if you take away that play, 300 yards on South Carolina in the first half.
Here's Lattimore brought down by Nosa Igwe. Third down.
Up front. Can you stop the running game with 4? Fairley does a good job inside that time, putting a little bit of penetration. Excuse me, it was Zach Clayton, my fault. Zach Clayton that time put a little bit of penetration and allowed the linebackers and the defensive line to clean it up.
Late ad for South Carolina off the bench. Now Lattimore to the right of Stephen Garcia on 3rd down and 5. Garcia on a rope. Torrey Gurley, number 81, first down at the 49.
Yep, perfect throw. No defense for that throw. Just get inside. Playing a robber defense here, Auburn is actually trying to force the receiver to the inside, and that ball is put right in the perfect spot.
So a very positive start for the Gamecocks here to open the third quarter of play. 28-14. Gurley now with his with 3 receptions. Garcia back to throw again. Goes short, and the catch made by Lattimore. That's to the 45 in front of the Sharvin Bell, number 22. Second down 2. Alshon Jeffrey goes wide right. Jeffrey 4 catches so far. And off to Lattimore.
And that's exactly what he does best, right there. By making people miss from the tailback position, it just means taking a 3-yard blocked play and turning it into a 7 or an 8 yard play. You see inside DeMarco, and then he runs right through the tackle of Stevens. He makes himself small, he angles, he falls forward. Those are the type of tailbacks, those +5 runs that really move the chains on him.
Lattimore now goes out wide right. Lines up behind Gurley. Garcia takes off. DeCharvin Bell first contact. Garcia thought he might get a lot more on the ground.
Watch the offensive line here. They invite the defenders to the outside. When you got a good pass rushing team, invite them outside and run the quarterback draw. Watkins invites Fairley to the outside. Good block inside that time by Chisholm.
2nd and 1. Here's Lattimore again. Breaks a tackle again.
There it is. All these passing yards, and I will admit, you got to be able to throw the ball in modern college football, but what keeps the chains moving and keeps your defense honest is to make these first downs running the ball.
Lattimore 11 carries now, 60 yards. Total yards thus far 348 to 248. Garcia caught from behind. Guess who?
Yep. Pretty good pressure from the entire front four that time. Fairley was able to get to him as Garcia got out of the pocket. The front four against 5, 4 against 5. Pretty good protection, forced out, and Fairley makes the play. He's so tired he had to get off the field, didn't he? He's just winded.
Yeah, he is. He looks winded. Any effect from playing indoors?
Sometimes when you play indoors, you haven't done it in a while, you just don't get the airflow. It just feels different.
Here's Garcia, right side.
Yeah, that was the pass rush again. He couldn't follow through on the throw. When you don't follow through, you don't get enough on it, and the ball just dies. Watch this pressure come right into his face. No one clean, but they push the offensive line right into him. That time, T.J. Johnson could not stop the penetration.
3rd and 12. South Carolina, look at this. All-time record history of football. The only other indoor game they played, 1973.
Alshon Jeffries in the slot here. A little different look. Bottom in the slot.
And Lattimore outside. They go to Lattimore. He's going to be out of bounds.
Yep.
And boy, he got popped as he caught the ball.
And that's the college rule. Now, actually, it's the NFL rule. You can knock players out of bounds. It's not where he would come down. It's where he finishes. Would he have come down? Maybe. But a nice play by Nico Thorpe to get him out and into the white.
That'll bring on Spencer Lanning, the place kicker. 42-yarder. He missed one off the right upright. Snap a little high, the kick down, missed it again.
Last time he hooked it left, remember, Vern, and this time he pushed it to the right.
This falls in the category of wouldn't you just know. Spencer Lanning just missed a field goal with a look of chagrin. And now Red Lobster presents today's Scholar Athletes. Oh, look, Spencer Lanning, a major in exercise science, joined South Carolina as a walk-on with no Division I scholarship offers. And for the Auburn Tigers, Mike Berry, the offensive guard, degree in public administration, and a member of the SEC Academic Honor Roll. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future shown today by donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund.
Vern, I never made any honor rolls, but I do know this. South Carolina needs a sack. They're leading this conference in sacks, and they have none so far.
There's a nice job defensively up short. as Terrell Zachary makes the catch. Allen, Antonio Allen out there to defend. Nothing so far. 2nd and 8. Newton caught. Blake, number 80.
All right,
Just short of the first down.
Now here's that area. I call this the Tebow area. This is what the Southeastern Conference had to deal with for 4 years with Tebow. He's in that area where you almost concede a first down to him. Defensive coordinators have been telling me for 4 years this is the toughest part. They're going to go wildcat. 2 offensive tackles to one side, both to the right side here. See if they can stop Cam Newton.
And he will run it for a while.
It wasn't the design of the play, was it?
Not at all, but pretty effective.
And they were trying to slip the back out in the flat, and it was defended well. Here's where they were going to the right side, didn't have it, and now Cam saw a guy wide open on the play, but he said, I just can't risk it. It was McCaleb wide open. He said, I can make a first down running.
And Devin Taylor was in pursuit. Now fake, look deep. Emery Blake or Terrell Zachary. It's Zachary, and it is knocked down, incomplete. C.C. Whitlock, number 12.
C.C. Whitlock doesn't have great size, but he got up this time and made a play.
2nd down. Four wides. That's Mario Fannin, number 27, alongside Cam Newton. Blake out of bounds at the 3.
And trying to say, if they can't get pressure on the quarterback, they have no chance. Man-to-man coverage, Gilmore again, up and an out from the outside, kind of a flat and up, and almost for another touchdown.
That give short, and another look as Mike Dyer comes up short at the last play.
Blake was in the slot, but look at the time Newton has to float this ball out there. Emery Blake, and if your name sounds familiar, Jeff Blake's son, the old quarterback.
Newton, drives, touchdown. His 2nd on the ground. He now joins Tim Tebow as a quarterback who in a single season has thrown for 20 and run for 20. There's his mom, Jackie, wearing number 2. His father, Cecil, has been given limited access to the Auburn athletic program because of his complicity in the pay-for-play scandal. But Jackie's here. Watch him run over Antonio Allen.
Remember, the quarterback is 6'6", 250. The linebacker is 6 foot 205. It used to be the other way around when I played.
And so, Cam Newton and his mom. Time has been called. The SEC Championship game on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper, is sponsored by Enterprise, Nissan, Aflac, and by Dr. Pepper. Impressive drive by Auburn, their first of the 3rd quarter. And Cam Newton gets the touchdown from a couple of yards out. 35-14. West Byram will kick off. Bryce Sherman back to return it. Sherman will have to let this one go into the end zone. Touchback. College hoops next Saturday on CBS. St. Louis, coached by Rick Majerus, against the Dukies, coached by that guy Krzyzewski. St. Louis versus Duke next Saturday, 12 Eastern Time. The NCAA on CBS.
Coached by that guy Krzyzewski, does a pretty good job too.
Yeah, he's not a bad motivator.
Well, let's see if South Carolina can put any pressure on Auburn in this football game. You know, to win these games, you got to first come from behind and put a little pressure on the other team.
Here's Garcia. Lattimore wrapped up as he gets to the 22-yard line.
That's going to be, I think, an illegal substitution penalty, or was it a late hit at the end of the play by Zach Etheridge? Kind of a dumb play if it was a late hit. I know there was an Auburn player coming on late onto the field. They ran off. They only had 10 players on. He ran off and then ran back in. You have to get inside the numbers. Watch him come in, and then they wave him back out. And he has to get back inside the numbers. Now, here's the thing. It's different numbers on these field. Those are NFL numbers. The actual numbers are that hash line. They're going to pick it up. Yes, they are. That's a great call. See the hash line right here? That's the actual, from this Auburn line right there to that hash line is the college numbers. They don't have to get out to the NFL numbers. So they picked it up. That was the proper call.
May I congratulate you? That's pretty good stuff.
Actually, we learned that yesterday at practice.
You're right. Second down. Garcia. Oh, boy. That's Jason Bates, and it's going to be ruled incomplete. Barnes, I beg your pardon.
Pressure inside as he let it go. Actually, he had a pretty easy throw. This one should have been eaten up. Good defense on the play. Remember this Auburn defense. In the second half for the season, they're only giving up 1 out of 4 on third down. They're at 26%. 1 out of 4. That has been the key to their season. In the second half, they've stopped teams on third down.
Compare that to a 50% yield in the first half, so they dramatically improved after the break. Timeout.
With the score it is 35-14, excuse me. Spurrier knew he needs this first down, and it was worth a timeout on the play.
So time called. South Carolina will have it when we come back. Well, they were looking at the last play. Was it or was it not a catch by Barnes? Then Oldham, the replay.
I thought that ball moved when it hit the field. I apologize. Steve Spurrier did not call a timeout. That was a review.
So no timeout charged. South Carolina with 3 timeouts remaining. And it was ruled an incomplete pass. So 3rd and 8 with the second drive of the third quarter for South Carolina.
The line judge and the back judge, I think, to that side of the field on the South Carolina bench made that call. They had a good view of it.
Lattimore goes wide right. Jeffrey, here comes the blitz from the corner. Garcia retreating, it's intercepted. Picked off, touchdown to Charvin Bell. Tremendous pressure on Garcia. And to Sharvin Bell, picked it off, scooted 8 yards for an Auburn touchdown.
Give this one to the defensive coordinator, Ted Roof. Watch this. His best pass rusher, Nick Fairley, he drops him into coverage. Right there's Fairley. Watch him drop. Josh Bynes comes. It was going to be a screen to the tight end. Bell stops. Garcia never saw too much pressure inside. A game changer. Could it be a national championship entrance play?
Auburn leads at 42-14, 7:23 to go. And Bryce Sherman is back to return another one to Sharvin Bell, number 22. Picked it off, went 8 yards. And in all likelihood, put this one out of reach. Sherman at the goal line. And he gets it to the 21-yard line. Let's go to Tim Brando for an update presented by Chick-fil-A.
All right, Vern, Gary, it's all wrapped up in the Pac-10, and you can thank LaMichael James, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. There's one of them. They beat Oregon State in the Civil War. We'll head to the BCS championship game. Let's go back to you.
All right, Tim, it looks increasingly like it might be a battle of big guys undefeated. First down 10.
Vern, I agree with you in all likelihood, but if you're South Carolina, you can't think that way. You got to focus in one play at a time.
Here's the toss to Lattimore. And another look at the interception.
Could have been a big play if Garcia would have just looped it out. Watch Bell right here, okay? He makes a great play. He's on a blitz, but then he smells something. He smells the screen and backs up. If he'd have looped it over, he would have had it. Pressure inside was the reason. You called it right. But if he'd have looped it over, he might have had a nice play call there.
Yeah, he had DeMarco ready. That's obvious in the replay. Now DeMarco sets up left side. Garcia will keep it and moves across the 30. That might be enough to move the chain. Darren Bates. Well, the most points scored in this game. Guess who the head coach was? For Florida, Steve Spurrier.
Well, you have to be honest, as great as these games have been in the Southeastern Conference, 11 of the last 12 have been decided by double digits.
And a first down now for South Carolina.
I think that qualifies for double digits, doesn't it?
Yeah. And the test the middle. Lattimore cuts back. First down, South Carolina, out near the 44.
Well, this guy came in with all the credentials as being a program-changing running back, and he really has been that and more. See his cut, the way he slides, changes direction, cuts back. When he runs the ball well, and you know, had he not gotten hurt against Kentucky, he had 200 yards receiving and rushing in the first half against Kentucky. South Carolina wouldn't have lost that game.
14 yards in this one, up for 81 yards. And right up the middle it goes again. Nosa Igwe with the tackle. You know, go back to the late part of the first half, and South Carolina put together that really wonderful drive to cut it to 21-14. And then the Hail Mary right before the half. You wonder if that just staggered this team.
I don't think so. I thought South Carolina came out, did a decent job. You just got to make field goals. You got to do the little things.
Second down.
If I was South Carolina being down 2 scores, I wouldn't be embarrassed. Play football.
And I don't think Steve Spurrier was.
Was he down?
No, not really. Not in the
I thought, I was thinking, was Lattimore down on the play? Was his knee down on the play? No, it didn't. I don't think it went down. You talked about that Hail Mary. How about what Gene Chizik said to Tracy. We figured we had 2 plays. On the first play, we picked up 8 or 10 yards, and then on the second play, Holloman attempting to knock it down, doesn't.
Darvin Adams went over Stephon Gilmore, and made the Hail Mary catch.
2 disastrous plays for South Carolina. That one, and then the interception on the screen pass.
Now the Gamecocks use a timeout. 42-14 with 4:13 left. In the third quarter, I just wanted to complete my sentence. SEC bowl projections qualified 10. So if Auburn wins, they go against Oregon, BCS championship. Arkansas, this is projections, of course. Alabama to the Capital One, the Gamecocks, and so on down the list. How about the comeback for Derek Dooley and the Tennessee Volunteers?
They got some good young players there and an emerging quarterback. Pressure again, same defensive look.
Ace Sanders. Fumble, ball comes out of bounds.
Same defensive scheme that produced the interception for a touchdown. Ted Roof dials it again. Script by Etheridge. And forces a punt.
Yep. Spencer Lanning comes out.
Can you punt?
Darvin Adams is back to return it. Fair catch at the 9-yard line. 46-yard punt, nothing on the return. Well, the Auburn defense has put a lot of pressure on Stephen Garcia tonight.
Yes, that's really what we've talked about. When you watch tapes of this Auburn defense, their front four covers up their weaknesses. Any secondary with that type of pressure can make plays, and these guys are starting to believe and make more and more and more plays. But let's be honest. This Auburn offense, when you put up 400 yards with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, they're at 423 yards.
There goes Michael Dyer out around the left side. And that should be enough for a first down for Auburn.
As you said, that's the other outstanding freshman running back, right? This is the old crossbuck. Fake one way, watch. Crisscross, one, hand back the other way.
And a fine play, Michael Dyer out of Little Rock, Arkansas. First down 10.
Wildcat look, both tackles to the right.
And Dyer scoots out across the 30.
And he runs right behind Zimba. And Mosley. And Baran Issa. And then he mentioned Ryan Pugh. I remember doing Auburn games when Ryan Pugh, as a freshman, the center for this team, was playing offensive tackle.
That's another first down. Well, they're back at the line of scrimmage in a hurry.
Yeah, to run another running play, probably. Here he comes.
Now they're running the clock. Well, Lee Zimba, number 73, 51st start today from Rogers, Arkansas. And said the 2008 season was just awful. But they have come back with a real passion. He's going to graduate, probably have a career in the NFL, but he said his long-term dream is to come back to Auburn. He wants to become a school teacher, a part-time coach, and a school bus driver. Then he said life is going to be perfect. Dyer. Zimba's mom and dad, Mike and Dawn, both are Auburn graduates. And he's got a sister who is a sophomore at New York University.
Well, the story of the game to me has been this South Carolina defensive line. Number 1 in the SEC in sacks. They got pressure early. Remember that? Cam Newton ran right away from it, made the plays. No sacks today, and that's produced those close to 500 yards in offense.
And a first down 10 here. Ryan Pugh will snap it back. Oh, crossbuck again. Melvin Ingram makes the tackle.
We've got about a minute here in the third quarter. I want to go back to the first half of the Alabama game and talk about Cam Newton. When I went and watched the rebroadcast, I was more impressed by Cam Newton's first half than second half. We all know what he can do when he has the ball and he's on. But when they were going 3 and out, 3 and out, and 3 and out, he trotted to the sideline. He went to work with his offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn. No theatrics, no yelling at players. He just kept working, kept sawing wood, and it eventually paid off. His teammates saw those actions, and it paid off for that football team.
Here's the sweep. This is McCaleb. Had one of the bigger runs of the year, 70 yards, when they defeated LSU. This one's for 23.
And remember, this is a read. This ball could stay with Cam, and one of the things you talk to the defensive coaches around the league, on every play that Auburn runs, there's a quarterback keep off of it.
Had a player injured for South Carolina. This is C.C. Whitlock, number 12.
And for the first time, obviously, the South Carolina team is disillusioned.
Yeah, it's really, it's gone from a hill to climb to a mountain to climb now. Well, we have not spoken with Cam Newton since he was put off limits to the press on November 9th, and the world became one of no comment. If they win, Tracy Wolfson might have a chance to talk to him. That's the end of 3. The score 42-14. We'll return to the Georgia Dome right after this word from your local station. At the end of the third quarter, the entire Auburn football team headed to the right off their bench, and for the Auburn fans, a little celebration going on as they lead at 42-14 as we began the fourth quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. Michael Dyer around the right side, and he's inside the 30. Well, Gene Chizik, defensive coordinator, 3 years for this Auburn team, then part of an unbeaten season here. He took over 2 years ago, and there were a lot of folks, Gary, who didn't think at the time.
Man, a lot of people.
Right?
5-19 at Iowa State. He comes in here. Remember what he's done in 2 years. This is the only SEC's coaching staff that has not had one change from last year to this year. They've got 24 seniors. Here's the story of Gene's team. 24 seniors, number 1. But a number 4 recruiting class last year. Of course, Cam Newton part of that recruiting class. The combination of those guys and a recruiting class has meshed perfectly with, I think, the most valuable player.
This worked for a touchdown earlier this year.
Cam down here.
And Cody Burns, the former quarterback, who will not throw it, he'll keep it. But that formation did work for a touchdown grab earlier in the season as Cam Newton lined up to the right side. That was against Ole Miss. 3rd down 2.
And I was about to say, in my 20 years of doing this, he's the most valuable player I've seen on any team. It's what he's brought to this football team. Now, all the other stuff off field, there's a lot of discussion there. But how he plays football, Magnificent.
Dyer. First down to the 21.
That's the 9th play of this drive. All runs.
Chew up the clock. Dyer now with 64 yards on 14 carries.
And what's about to happen here now is the Southeastern Conference is going to send a team to the Bowl Championship for the 5th straight year. Back-to-back years, the champion will be 13-0.
492 today. Offense for the Auburn Tigers. Newton has it. Well, just add that to the repertoire. And then, just for good measure,
there's the smile.
Mike Taylor, the line judge. Oh, how good is that?
Keeps it, jumps it, plows forward, and then, sir. And then watch a little tap.
Oh yeah, a little tap on the back of the head.
Yep.
Auburn has gone over 500 yards of offense. They were. Now they lost 3.
Flag on the play. You know, Vern, this discussion, nobody really cares what I think, but the discussion here about whether Cam should be playing or not. That rule, that if the player and the school know nothing about it, that someone connected to you can go make you ineligible, needs to be looked at. I mean, do we know? We have to call this man a liar. Basically, we have to call him a liar before we can believe that he knew about it. If he did, I believe it'll eventually come out. But until then, I think you have to take a man in his word.
Foul, grasping the face mask, number 45 of the defense. The penalty is from the previous spot, half the distance, automatic first down.
Chatting with Gus Malzahn. Rodney Paulk right there. Well, and that leaves open for further discussion, Gary, the whole issue of player benefits for student athletes.
But as Mike Slive said, you can't punish someone because you're afraid of a precedent in the future. You deal with the future in the future. You got to treat this kid fairly. And I think so far, for what people know, this is the fair thing.
He's at wide receiver again, Cody Burns, who was the starter along with Chris Todd for much of the 08 season. That's McCaleb in motion. Here's Burns. Whoops. Melvin Ingram. Well, as we said, he had a real explosion on the national scene against South Carolina. We have seen the gamut of expressions from the very expressive Cameron Newton. And obviously, the emotions we've seen have been expressed in winning circumstances. 48, look at this. More than 87 NCAA teams.
Demoralized, South Carolina is 11 straight running plays.
Until.
When he had Lutzenkirchen wide open on the play, he had made up his mind. I think that's the first time he didn't follow the game plan.
That was Cody Burns.
You know, I wonder if they were trying to get Cody Burns. There's so much respect for Cody Burns on this staff and his teammates. Came as a quarterback, agreed to move to wide receiver. He said he contemplated whether he should transfer, and he said he wanted to finish his career at Auburn.
Now 3rd and goal. McCaleb alongside Newton. Into the corner, Emory Blake, another touchdown.
Same play that South Carolina missed. Attempted pick. Did he get a little piece of him or not? Akeem Augusta that time. It's a fade to the slot, basically. And Cam Newton, the Heisman Trophy winner, is going to take his team on a ride to the national championship.
Have you crowned him, or you got?
Well, I don't see how anybody can
No,
vote for
I don't
anyone
either,
else.
I know.
Anyone else. Either vote for him or, as I say, abstain. If you don't like it, just abstain.
Well, tonight, Cameron Newton has thrown for 4 and run for 2.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
All right, cinch up your seatbelts and wish me luck. Here's the first touchdown of the game. McCaleb from Newton, 7-0. South Carolina answered right back. Garcia with a 25-yard touchdown pass. DeMarco, 7-7. Next, Auburn. Newton with a 5-yard touchdown rush, 14-7. They also got the next one. Adams, a 54-yard touchdown reception. Great drive put together by South Carolina for this touchdown. It's Alshon Jeffrey inside, 21-14. Here is the backbreaker. At the half, Adams, a 51-yard reception on the tip ball to Hail Mary, 28-14 in the third quarter. It was Newton again as he plowed over Antonio Allen, 35-14. Screen pass, pressure up the middle. Josh Bynes intercepted by Tasharvin Bell. And then just a moment ago, Cam Newton, Emory Blake, 49-14. And Cam Newton has thrown for a career high now of 335 yards, 4 touchdown passes. And his total of 6 touchdowns scored equals the mark set by Heisman Trophy winner Danny Werfel, who was coached by Steve Spurrier.
Want me to handle the rest here, Vernon?
Yes.
Okay, go.
I'll take a breath. Take a breath.
Well, those faces for the South Carolina fans, but I will say this. They should be proud of what they accomplished this year. I want to talk about that a little bit of the South Carolina team and the job Steve Spurrier has done to get them here.
This one taken, and a lateral goes to the right. It's Kenny Miles, the backup running back. You hesitate because there are so many double numbers on this South Carolina team. That's one of them.
Let's talk about Steve Spurrier. There were a lot of thoughts from a lot of people. And Steve Spurrier made his career. Yes, he built Florida into that team. But the question was, could he do it somewhere else? He went to the NFL. And they said with equal talent, he wasn't as smart, but look what he did now. I think he's been totally vindicated. He's one of the icons of the Southeastern Conference forever. And in Mount Rushmore coaching in the Southeastern Conference, as we see a new quarterback, I'm putting Steve Spurrier on Mount Rushmore.
This is Connor Shaw, who replaced Garcia in the fourth quarter of the first game between these two. He ran the spread offense in high school. And out to the left, Connor Shaw came on in relief. And after Garcia had fumbled twice in that first game, he threw 2 unfortunate interceptions. For the season now, 68%, 200 yards. And Garcia looks like his night might be finished. 16 of 28 for 170.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a benching, though. I would call this is the game's over and you let the other guy play.
2nd and 1. Ace Sanders. Now let's go to Tim Brando for this Heisman Watch, presented by Nissan.
All right, Vernon, Gary. Well, it was a big day for Kellen Moore. 3 touchdown passes, 1 rushing. He's going to be in New York. We know that. And certainly LaMichael James finished with a great day, 134 yards rushing to lead Oregon into the BCS title game. DeMarco Murray prepping for the Big 12 title game. Back to you.
All right, Tim, thank you. First down 10 here. Connor Shaw, handoff. This is Brian Maddox, number 10, who was the starter before Lattimore came in, and such high hopes, and they have been dashed.
Yeah, you always think about this, but when I think South Carolina looks back, they're going to think about in this season, South Carolina beat Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee all in the same season.
Shaw escapes the pressure from the backside and breaks that tackle. Foot race and out of bounds. That could draw a flag. DeSharvin Bell got a little aggressive as they approached the sideline. There is no flag.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh, there is.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Connor Shaw, as you said, freshman, spread option quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
See that face mask, the straight arm face mask? I think the rules committee ought to look at that.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul. Number 22 of the defense. The ball will be half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Cam Newton has done it many, many times. We've seen him play this year. Although of all the rule changes, I've got about 10 other ideas before they get to that one.
I want to tell you, one of the great moves I've seen tonight is the guy that's holding the drive marker. He just had to sprint 50 yards. And he's about as good a shape as I am. Here's Shaw.
Nice defensive segment there. It's a run blitz off the slot.
Look at this.
Oh,
look at this.
Interview. There's our first interview.
The Wolf is listening to Cam Newton. Perfect. Got a clock issue here and a player down. Looks like Darren Bates, number 25.
Some Cam gave Tracy some magic liquid here or something.
Trace, what's going on?
Well, Cam Newton having a little fun down here. He made a little mixture of his Gatorade. He said it's the ingredients of champions. He would not tell me what was in it, but he's calling it Cammy Cam juice. I'm going to take a little taste. Not bad, a little sweet for my taste.
How does that compare to the grass? Look at this, look at Cam.
So she has Les Miles grass and Cam Newton juice.
Connor Shaw out of bounds. Well, this all started when Cam came over. Oh. Now he's watching. Look at Trooper Taylor and Cam Newton.
Can there be anything better than knowing you've won a game and you're going to play in a national championship and you're SEC champions? You got the towel around your neck. Both receivers for South Carolina knocked each other down on the play, Vern.
Well, 7:54 to go. Cam Newton, 1 year at Florida, transferred to Blinn College, actually 2 years at Florida, and then recruited by Curtis Looper, the running back coach and recruiting coordinator. Here's Lanning.
That's the one he needed at the beginning of the second half.
That makes it a 49-17 game with 7:48 to go. The SEC Championship game on CBS, presented by Dr. Pepper, is sponsored by Ram Trucks, Chick-fil-A, LG, and by Dr. Pepper Cherry. Now, a little over 7 minutes left in this one, and we invite you to stay tuned after the game for the Jeep postgame show on CBS.
Well, everybody's trying that now.
Oh, good. There's an endorsement.
In the rust-colored sweater, that was Bo Jackson. I'm not quite sure who the second guy was. We know who number 2 is. I don't think we'll see him back on the field unless they just send him out there to take him out to get a round of applause from the Auburn fans.
408 total yards for Cam Newton tonight. There's the kick, goes left, maybe too far left. No. Taken by DeMond Washington. Now let's take you through the Cam Newton touchdowns. The first of 6. A toss to McCaleb. Then on the ground for 5 yards. The catch made by Darvin Adams. The tip at halftime, the Hail Mary. And he ran over Antonio Allen and finally Emery Blake. 6 touchdowns accounted for in this ball game and on the field still.
I think it's going to be one play for Cam and then take him off for applause.
Here's the Aflac trivia question. A bonus, who's the backup quarterback? There you go, the handoff to the right side. That goes to Mario Fannin, number 27.
Watch Barrett Trotter come in and Cam
there we are.
Go off.
His mom. His coach. Threw for 335, ran for 73. Barrett Trotter, the backup quarterback. That's Mario Fannin, senior, number 27.
And most likely, there's 24 seniors on this team, and most likely that guy right there is going to be leaving. We're probably seeing his last play in the SEC. Of course, we're going to see him in the national championship game.
And so Barrett Trotter, the sophomore from Birmingham, 6'2", 211. He's seen action in 5 games. This is his 6th, but strictly in a backup role. So for the season, 5 of 8 through the air for 48 yards. That will not be his task now. Keep it on the ground, chew up the clock.
And I'll tell you who also deserves some applause. If we can get our camera on that offensive line. Number 73, Lee Zimba.
Here's
Ryan Pugh. Mike Berry. Moran Isom. There's Zimba right there.
He looks
All
Herculean,
seniors.
doesn't he?
Yep, all seniors. They were part of that team, remember? 36-0 in 2008 at Alabama. They had 4 different offensive coordinators in their career. Toughened them. It toughened them.
Hand off to Fannin again.
And then the last guy that might be leaving, he's going to be a hot commodity, is that man right there, Gus Malzahn.
Yes.
What he's done at Tulsa and now here at Auburn, putting up over 500 yards in this football game, 26 games, 11 times.
High school coach in Springdale, Arkansas for a while. Hired by Houston Nutt to be the offensive coordinator at Arkansas. Wound up at Tulsa. Here's Trotter. And the pass is complete. That's Derek Winter, number 87. And this, the quarterback job, we were told, was up for grabs in the spring.
Well, interestingly, as Trotter delivers pass here to Derek Winter, had Auburn not signed Cam Newton, Trotter would have been the quarterback. They did not recruit another quarterback, and they were not going to recruit one to this year's class.
Redshirted in 08, missed the season last year, and was in a heated competition with Newton for the starting spot in the spring. Fannin.
Now, on the other hand, South Carolina is going to be returning a lot of football players. Alshon Jeffrey returns. Marcus Latimer returns. Steven Garcia returns. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of firepower. People around South Carolina says this is not a one-year deal. The foundation has been built, and they're built for the long run. Here's Lattimore.
2nd down 6.
Although I think that East is going to get much tougher next year. Georgia will be a much improved team next year. Tennessee will be.
Trotter. Oh, dear. From behind, hauled down at the 14-yard line. Hakeem Auguste. And leading the applause and skipping down toward the line of scrimmage.
And you can see Trotter does not have the burst. You saw the ACL surgery. Before he would have had the burst to score, he still isn't completely healthy from that injury.
35-yard gain for Trotter. .319 to go.
Can't imagine what that Auburn-Oregon game is going to look like.
No. I'm picking 70 points at least.
Vern, do you want to fly in there and do the scoring?
The Geico recap. I'll just make a token appearance on the other network. Hey guys, I've been through this before.
You know how they usually do 3 men in the booth? They're going to have 2 play-by-play guys and 1 color guy.
That's right. Well, hard to absorb if you're a South Carolina Gamecock and you fought so hard to get here, but a brilliant performance by Cam Newton and his Auburn Tiger teammates.
And not just Cam, you're right. I mean, that offensive line, what they did, no sacks in this game. Now, Cam ran away from about 3 of them. I still think early in the game that was the difference in the game.
Fannin, touchdown for the senior.
Fannin got that big block early. Remember that pass play? The out and up. And now what? 589 yards of total offense. Not enough guys on the field.
Yep.
Just relax. Could even take a penalty here and still get the extra point. They're going to try it without it. They're going to try it with 10.
That's Neil Caudle, who is the 3rd string quarterback, who is the holder.
They did it with 10.
Yep. It's going your way. Well, Gene Chizik better get set for a bath. Cam Newton has delivered a whipping. Gene Chizik, walk-on at Florida, 1985. Started his career as a high school coach, St. Petersburg, Florida, for a couple of years. Worked his way up, as most do, before he got the head coaching opportunity. Off of Mac Brown's staff, they were the national champions in '05, and Gene ultimately got the job at Iowa State. 2 years, 5-19. Hired by Jay Jacobs in the athletic department. And he and his team are about to complete their 13th victory of the year. This is Cedric Sneed. Hello. Ted Roof, the defensive coordinator. And on the sidelines, a legend at Auburn. That's Pat Dye in the background. He's pretty appreciative of all this as well. We'll return to the Georgia Dome in a moment. And while we were away, Gene Chizik got the Gatorade bath. So also did Gus Malzahn. Now we're back to play. And here is Connor Shaw. Flips it out. Caught. Kenny Miles makes the grab. Well, let's...
Gatorade time.
Yes, it is. Gotcha. And shortly after that, Mario Fannin got it. Chizik tried to get away.
They held him down and
they got Trooper Taylor. Oh, goodness.
Look at Trooper.
So just a double measure for Trooper Taylor. 2nd down and 7.
do want to say this for who's ever listening. It's got to be Auburn fans mostly. Remember, this brings it full circle for Auburn fans. 2004, undefeated season. They were the team that was voted out. When I came into this league, Vern, in 2006, I could feel the chip on the shoulder in this conference. They felt they had been dissed. Remember that vote? Michigan, Florida. It looked like Michigan. It became Florida. And since then, 5 straight national championship games, 4 of them victories.
68 seconds to go. Connor Shaw will tuck it and run. And some emotional moments now on the Auburn sideline. Gus Malzahn, the offensive coordinator. Gotcha. Cam Newton.
And the other thing this Southeastern Conference is the balance of this league. The last 6 champions, 5 different teams. Only Florida has won it twice.
Craig Sanders with this sack. There's a connection around the generation. Bat die, Cam Newton. And the team starts to rush the field, but there's still 1 play left.
Well, they're going to put Cam Newton on their shoulders. Look at this.
Mike Berry, Baron Isom. They're the anchors who are holding up Cam Newton. They've got 1 more play to go. See if they can keep him up there.
Remember in the open, Vern, I said that Cam Newton showed them that they didn't have to succumb to the pressure.
Across the middle. That's the final game, the play of the game. And our player of the game, presented by Chick-fil-A, Cam Newton, 335 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, rushed for 73, including 2 TDs. And let's go down to Tracy with Cam Newton.
Well, right now, an embrace between the head coach and Cam Newton. And Cam, let me start with you. And this is the first time you've been able to speak in a while. And just talk about how hard it's been for you and the focus you've had to have week in and week out to perform at this level on the field.
I just want to thank God for just blessing me with an unbelievable supporting cast. That's with my family. That's with this team. And with this coaching staff, it's the sky's the limit for this team. And it's a lot of guys that's been keeping me focused, and I just want to thank them and thank God first.
And we have to talk about your performance today. 6 total touchdowns to just cap off a tremendous season. And a lot of people will probably say that maybe you don't deserve to win the Heisman because of what happened. What do you say to that?
I'm an SEC champ. That's all that matters. There's some resilient guys on this team. I said that a billion times. But without these guys on this team, I wouldn't have the success that I did. I just want to thank God and thank the players on this team and Coach Chiswick and the whole coach staff for giving me a chance.
SEC champion and on to the national championship, Coach, and you helped guide them there. They started strong today. They finished strong today. What can you say about this team and their resiliency week in and week out?
Tracy, they had a great week of practice. I just knew this would be our best hour. I knew it would be our best hour. I told them that before the game started. I said, this will be your best hour today. They came out fast and they finished the game, and my hat's off to our football team.
Congratulations. Enjoy every minute of it.
Thank you.
This has become an expected celebratory action by Cam Newton, heading toward the student section and the fans to share the victory with all of them. Don't forget, the Jeep postgame show is coming next. You think she's a proud mom? For Tracy Wolfson, Gary Danielson, I'm Vern Lundquist. Down in the truck, Craig Silver, Steve Milton, the entire cast. We'll see you next week from Army-Navy Jeep postgame show coming up here.
CBS Sports presents the Jeep postgame show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Brando, and welcome to the Jeep postgame show. A reminder, tonight on CBS begins with Evan Almighty, starring Steve Carell, followed by a new edition of 48 Hours Mystery. That's all tonight, only CBS. Auburn has just punched its ticket for the BCS championship game, clinching the SEC crown by a score of 56-17. I'm joined by Spencer Tillman and Tony Barnhart. And yes, it's the era of Yes We Cam. What an amazing performance. And Tony, I don't know that I've ever seen a beatdown quite like this one in this championship game.
And understand, gentlemen, there was debate on whether or not Cameron Newton should have played in this game, and that debate will continue. But there is no doubt, there is no debate about this. Number 2, Auburn University is the best player in college football. He proved it again tonight with 407 yards of total offense.
And gentlemen, what I said before this game started, that in this era of spread offenses and formations, that the overmatch or the rematch advantage is overrated totally. We saw that today. The domination was total and complete. When you looked at it from that 61-yard strike to start things off, it was all about spreading the field down the football field in the middle, on the perimeters with McCaleb on the outside, and I think at the end of the day, the individual talent set them apart.
No doubt. It was indeed an amazing performance. We're ready right now for the trophy presentation, the Southeastern Conference Championship Trophy, and it's our friend Tracy Wolfson with it.
First off, let's congratulate both teams for tremendous seasons and making it here to the SEC Championship game, to the South Carolina Gamecocks, and to the Auburn Tigers, the champions of the SEC, going on to the National Championship game. Let's begin now with the Most Valuable Player Award, voted on by the media, to Cam Newton.
That's yours, babe. Congratulations. Hold on to it. Wow. That what they call?
Cam, this is the first time in a while you have had a chance to speak out not only to the nation, but to your fans out there. What do you want to say to them?
A wise man told me, if God with me, who could be against me? Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Well said. What a game. He had 6 total touchdowns tonight. But now it's time to award the championship trophy to head coach Gene Chizik. And doing it today will be the commissioner of the SEC, Mike Slice.
First I want to congratulate the Carolina Gamecocks and Coach Steve Spurrier, who came here for the 8th time in our 19 years. And they had a great year, and I wish them very well in the postseason. And now it's my pleasure to present the 2010 SEC Championship Trophy to Coach Chizik and the Auburn Tigers.
And Coach Chizik, let me just ask you, did you think that in just 2 years of being here, having come from an undefeated season in 2004 as a coordinator, not having that shot, that you'd be able to take them to the national championship game?
You know what, Tracy? This team is different than any team I've ever been around. There's a lot of love behind me now. And let me tell you something, there's a lot of leadership here too. Starting with our president, Dr. Goose, with Jay Jacobs, our athletic director. There is a lot of love. Let me tell you something. That locker room is full of guys that care about each other, and they care about Auburn University, and they play for Auburn University. And I want to say a big War Eagle to everybody that's still here tonight.
Congratulations to Auburn University, the champions of the SEC.
All right, Tracy, congratulations from all of us to the Auburn University Tigers on the accomplishment of winning their 13th consecutive game this year. Tim Brando, more with the Jeep postgame show right after this.
CBS Sports presents the Jeep postgame show.
A festive atmosphere inside the Georgia Dome. We welcome you back to the Jeep postgame show. We talked of this coronation, fellas. I have to tell you, it was nice to hear Cameron Newton speak. I find him to be a wonderful young man, I really do. However, the next time he's interviewed at the Heisman Trophy presentation, he'll have to do more than just thank the Lord above and the fans of Auburn University and his teammates. There'll be much more he'll have to respond to at that point in time, Tony. I'm curious your thoughts on that and where your Heisman vote will go. I know mine is going to Cameron Newton.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, yes, the question when he gets to New York in front of the New York media contingent, what is that going to be like? That will be interesting to see how well he is prepared for that. Number one, the interesting thing, there's no doubt in my mind, I am voting for Cameron Newton for the Heisman Trophy. There are over 900 people, though, that vote in the Heisman Trophy. The question that I have, Timmy, will there be abstentions? Will people abstain? Look at the final vote total. I've heard people say they're going to abstain because they don't have all the answers. But I can tell you this, I'm voting for Cameron Newton.
Ultimately, when Cam Newton steps on the field, I've heard enough from him. And whether he thanked the good Lord above enough may not be enough for you, Tim, but I want to hear more from his father than Cam Newton at this point. He's the one responsible for putting the program and his son in jeopardy. Cam Newton has said enough. At the end of the day, what was most compelling about his comments was he talked about how a cord of 3 strands really kept this team together.
All right, the other half of the BCS title card, opportunity for them since 1957. Let's take a look at this BCS Bowl projection.
Well, obviously you got Oregon and Auburn, and so this will be interesting about this game. This game to me is so intriguing, fast-paced, 2 21st century offenses, 2 great players, LaMichael James and Cam Newton. It may take us a day and a half to play it, but it's going to be a great football
You know
game.
what, Spencer? I've done some homework on this one. It appears that Oregon will be favored. I'm shocked to hear that on the basis of the way Newton has played since that first week in November.
They may be favored. These two teams, and I agree with you, have a lot in common. What I think is this Oregon team tends to score late and often in the fourth quarter. I think going into the final season game, they were outscoring their opponents 87-7 in the final stanza. Guess what? These Auburn Tigers can do the same thing, and they're more physical than Oregon will be. That will be the difference in the contest.
Our thanks to your work as well as Archie Manning for being with us throughout the course of the year. That'll just about do it for tonight. Thanks for watching the Jeep postgame show, and be sure to join us next week. We've got the 111th Army-Navy game. Coverage will begin at 2 o'clock Eastern with TIAA Prep College Football Today. And obviously, as big as that game is, there's more action tomorrow. The NFL on CBS, it's regional action. Many will see the Jaguars face the Titans, and the Raiders take on the Chargers. It all begins at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. We are so honored and flattered to be a part of the Southeastern Conference and to work for CBS Sports. For all of my partners, for Vern, Gary, and Tracy, Tony, Spencer, and Archie Manning, all of the people of CBS Sports, have a great evening, and we'll see you next week for the rivalry, Army meeting Navy, and it'll be on CBS Sports. Congratulations to Auburn.